And so I never reported on it. I just sort of stayed out of it and just reported on the strangeness. It was absolutely, of course, it was bizarre that this man seemed to keep falling through the cracks of our legal system, despite all of the evidence that he was involved in sex crimes. And by the way, this conspiracy theory of him operating a blackmail ring didn't come from nowhere. Actually, it came from somewhere. It came from Alexander Acosta, being just one individual that leaned into this conspiracy theory. He was the former U.S. attorney. If you don't remember Alexander Acosta, he was the former U.S. attorney who was also selected by President Trump to be the labor secretary of the United States. And throughout his confirmation hearings, a lot of people in the press were saying this guy allowed Jeffrey Epstein to get off scot-free. And so throughout his interviews with the Trump administration, he was asked about that. And he asked the question, is the Epstein case going to cause a problem pertaining to his confirmation hearings? He explained breezily, apparently, that back in the day, he had just one meeting on the Epstein case. He'd cut the non-prosecution deal with one of Epstein's attorneys because he, Alexander Acosta, had been told to back off, that Epstein was above his pay grade. He said, quote, I was told Epstein belonged to intelligence and to leave it alone, he told interviewers in the Trump transition. So that obviously makes people believe that it's true, that Alexander Acosta was simply told, hey, you got to let this guy go. He's an asset. And that would sort of make sense as to why he kept slipping through the cracks of the legal system. But there's more. There's more stuff that is the reason that people believe that this is all true. In case you missed this in the news, Jeffrey Epstein, and by the way, you can find these articles in NBC News, The Washington Post. This is not stuff that I'm finding on some conspiracy website. This is known in the mainstream media that all of this is true. So Jeffrey Epstein used a foreign passport with a fake name to enter several countries in the 1980s, including the United Kingdom, Spain, and Saudi Arabia. That is weird. The passport contained a photo of Epstein with a different name and listed his place of residence as Saudi Arabia. That's according to federal prosecutors. Now, how bizarre is that? They open a safe and they find a passport, a working passport, which allows him to get into all of these countries. And it's a fake name, which lists his residence in Saudi Arabia. Who would have the power to issue a fake passport to Jeffrey Epstein? It is a fact that he had a fake passport. It is a fact that he used that fake passport to enter different countries. It is a fact that nobody can explain how he was wealthy enough to purchase an island. It is a fact that he kept slipping through the legal system. It is a fact that Alexander Acosta said that he was told to let him go.